do I get there? Okay, here we go. Huh! So, a formula for happiness that I've heard is this. Have high hopes, but lower your expectations. Have high hopes, but lower your expectations. Now, some of you are probably thinking that is a strange saying. What do you mean by high hopes and lower expectations? This is what I mean. I think for someone to be happy, you need to have something to strive for. You need to have a goal. You need to have a purpose. You need to have something that's just out of reach to push you forward. And maybe on another stream we'll talk a little bit about goals and ways in which we can set good goals and things like that. Having high hopes. So some of you hope to get married sometime soon. Some of you hope to finish your studies. Some of you hope to get a really good, well-paying job. Have high hopes, something to strive for. But at the same time, you want to lower your expectations to something that is achievable, that you can attain. You know, I hope that this stream and eventually the videos that come out of this, I hope that it will make a positive impact in lots of people's lives. I hope that, people who I've never even met before would really be engaged with these videos, and that maybe people who are mostly gamers would find these videos somehow, and it would maybe even change their life. That's what I hope for. Right? But what do I expect to happen? Do I expect that in my first stream I'll have 100 people showing up? I'll be shown on the news as the new big thing. I'll be number one on Twitch and YouTube streams. Is that a reasonable expectation? Well, if that was my expectation, I'm going to be disappointed most of the time, ain't I? So I hope that these streams will make a big difference. But I expect, you know what? I expect that even if I get 3 or 4 people show up, right, a couple of subscriptions, a couple of likes, I'm going to be happy. My hopes are the things that I strive to, the things I work towards. But my expectation is an emotional intelligence tool that I use in my own mind, my own way of thinking, own way of talking about what I'm experiencing in order to manage how I feel. Some people, sometimes I describe it to some people like this. Does anyone do archery? Like, maybe have your own bow and arrow. Has anyone even gone to an archery range before? If you have, give me an archery icon, like a bow and arrow icon. I don't know if there is one in YouTube. But if you've almost never done archery before, all right, if you've not been to an archery range at all, they have a target that's like 50 or 100 meters down the range. You have a bow, you have an arrow, you pull it, and you try to hit the target. Okay. Now, what do you hope as you are, trying to do that archery? What do you hope to happen? What are you aiming for? Well, what you're aiming for is the bullseye, right? Dead straight center. That's what you're hoping for. But what do you expect to happen if you've never even used a bow and arrow before? Well, you're expecting that you might have one fly one direction, might have one fly another direction. You know what? You would be happy if you even hit the board. Now, you're not aiming for the floor. You're not aiming for the corner of the board. You're aiming for dead center. You're aiming for that high-paying job. You're aiming to get HDs in all your units. But what you expect to happen, you know what? I'll be happy even if I get anywhere near the board. That's a emotional intelligence tool that you can use to say that, hey, you know what? I'm going to be happy even with this result here.